What's going on, guys? Welcome to another T3 Connects. Tonight's guest is Art G. But before we get into that and bring him in, gotta shout out to thank the sponsor of tonight's video or podcast, Toy Depot in Whittier, California. If you live in Southern California, or if you're going to visit Southern California, go to Whittier, California, look up Toy Depot, go in, visit the store, you find some cool stuff, talk to Kevin, and then let him know T3 sent you. And if you go on Thursday and Friday, you get 10% off. So 10% off on anything you buy there at Toy Depot. So how this goes for this new series is bring the guest on. We're going to talk about some stuff that is sort of collectible related, but not. So I'm going to bring in my guest tonight, Mr. Art G. Hello, Art. How are
Hello,
you?
I'm doing well. What's going on, man? How are you?
Good. I'm tired. It's been a long week.
Tired.
Yeah.
Tired. I guess that's a good thing. I mean, hell, I'm tired. I've been doing taxes for the past like 3 days. So everything's squared away now. I just have to finish. I got to e-file it, print stuff out, take care of state, then take care of local, and then it's all good. But that's being a grown up. So whatever.
That is true. Being a grown up kind of sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's all but it's it sucks more because I have to pay taxes. I'm not getting any refund. So as a filed jointly, and it is, we, I guess you can say, we made too much. It kind of just screwed us over. So that's unfortunate. It is what it is. So I owe federal and state.
Ah, yay. I have done that for the past 7 years. I think this year we're actually getting state back, but we still owe. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't feel like we make that much money, but apparently
Yeah,
we do.
same, same. And I tried to write off as much as I can for YouTube stuff,
Uh,
but I kid you not, like I wrote off. I kept track of all my mileage to all the like toy shows and conventions. I wrote off all of the admissions payments that I made for tickets to go to shows and conventions, even like hotel stays if I had to. Um, it all counts, and it did reduce a fair amount. And because it falls under this business part of under personal taxes, it
right.
works. I can write it off. I mean, even all my equipment is somewhat a write-off. Now most of my equipment, like office expenses and things like that, they don't do anything to offset a payment owed. But when it comes to miscellaneous expenses in regards to what I just said, it notched off quite a bit.
Yeah. I came home to my wife saying, I need something from you. I can't remember. I think my driver's license number. And I was like, what for? And she was like, oh, I just filed our taxes. I'm like, wait, what? I was like, I have an envelope of stuff to write off. And I was already too late. I'm like, damn it. That included my prior job because I traveled all the
Mhm.
time. So my mileage, hotel stays, food, like everything. And
Yep.
then obviously the stuff for my business, like you said, T3 stuff. I had every receipt. I was just like, well, that sucks. That I think we if that may have actually helped us, and we probably wouldn't have owed. But, well, too late now.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm doing much better now tracking stuff this year. And it doesn't honestly help because of the 1099K, the Schedule K. That sucks for anyone who like me, who I fund my collection by selling off my collection. So no matter what, if I'm selling something, I'm buying something new, and unfortunately I get taxed on just selling stuff. So now this year for 2025, it's 600 or more in any avenue. any avenue. So if you as anyone, if you have eBay or Mercari or just anything, PayPal, you receive $600 or more in funds from a sale, you, you're gonna receive a Schedule K 1099K next year to file that in your taxes, and it's gonna hurt you because it hurt me this year. It definitely hurt me, and this year was like 2000, like 2024 was about like 2000 or something like that. Screwed me over. So
Yeah, I've already sold over $600 like a couple of weeks ago. I don't remember now. When I posted my yard sale on Instagram, I literally sold over $600 by selling stuff off through Instagram, and I'm like, that sucks
yeah, I just
because
did
I
that
have
for
to
the
use
dragon.
PayPal. Oh yeah,
So I'm screwed regardless, and it's only April. And I'm like, so many pre-orders that I have that I know I have to sell something to pay them off. It's like, oh,
true.
what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I don't know. I know because everyone's posting the big bad toy store email that got sent out like all over Instagram right earlier today. I knew this. I knew that was going to end up happening. So just like he said, and I'm pretty sure Entertainment Earth's going to do the same thing. Anything that you have pre-order is probably going to get adjusted to the tariffs with the tariff tax. I'm like, this sucks. I feel like I don't know if I want to cancel everything and just kind of wing it and hope I find it. Uh, I know my Maximum Spider-Man's like pending, so I'm glad that's pending and not having to wait because I go order two of them.
Oh, I have one, and that's from Hasbro Pulse. And there's a part of me that's like, the hype is over for me now, and I don't know if I want to cancel it. I,
Yeah,
like, there's a part of me is like, no, get it, because just experience what the hell this maximum stuff is, and you. I mean, it's a Spider-Man. I have a lot of Spider-Mans. I have a nice Spider-Man collection. I enjoy it, and whenever Spider-Man comes out, of course, I would love to
right.
get it. But this was, of course, this whole category was a questionable one. So I'm still on the fence right now, even though I did pre-order it, and of course, no money was taken out. And it's like, dude, do I still want it? Even though, like, I watched everyone's review, I've seen everyone's opinion. I know my own opinion is what I deem to me in regards to wanting it or not. But I don't know. The hype has kind of died down and over for me, and I'm kind of like, do I still want it? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to cancel it because I don't think I'm gonna have a possibility of finding it here. Because literally the only place that's gonna carry it would be GameStop. And I know once they put it out, it's gonna be gone. And that's
Really?
something.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something that like GameStop, because I did mention in our group chat that they've been holding all the Marvel Legends stuff, but they have a new employee who just puts stuff out that they don't tell, and I'm just like, I'm so screwed.
Yeah.
But you know,
Uh,
whatever.
it's well, it's I mean, in my area, it's unfortunate with our GameStops because they're all different. They will
Hmm.
only carry certain stuff, and you have to go to certain legacy stores to get what you want. But then again, not all legacy stores operate the same way in their inventory, and it's like they're not going to get certain things, and then the other store does, and then of course sometimes there are some games that I just don't even bother going in it because they will never get, the legends or the Black Series or GI Joe, anything of what we want as collectors, or at least in the popular aspect of the Hasbro items that are in there. Even when AZ Tourners Guild showed off all those SH figure arts in the games, that's like, that's ridiculous. Not one of my stores freaking carry SH figure arts. I
Wow. Yeah, mine just started carrying them more often. Like they have the Deadpool, the Wolverine, they have Naruto. They got a bunch of Dragon Ball stuff the other day that
yeah.
is in the back because they have nowhere to put it. And I was like, dang, come on, you guys are getting a lot of stuff. They used to have, they were getting NECA, And now I haven't seen NECA since they got it.
Yeah, I remember when GameStop started getting NECA. That was like maybe 2 years ago, and I've never seen it ever again. I think they canceled that getting inventory from them.
Yeah, because was it December? I think. Yeah, December. They mine got a Saw. I'm trying to remember, Alien, Romulus, some horror ones, and that was it. Like, and then
Yeah.
right before Christmas, they were all gone. Like I figured they would be, but yeah, they
Yeah.
haven't had them since. So I was like, wonder what's going on with that.
Luckily, that's not in my collecting eyesight. So I love seeing them. Don't get me wrong. I do love seeing them. It's just thank God it's an avenue where I can save my money and put it to something else.
Same. I'm not a NECA collector unless it's something that I don't know hits me from like my childhood. I only will buy them when I get them for $12.
Yeah,
Bargain
right.
bins, like the things I've been finding. So that's really
That
like,
that liquidation store is a gold mine for you. That's
yeah,
the best one that you have. Just like me when it comes to the half off store. When it's good and I find something. But for you, I mean, yours is specific to $12 bins. And that's the crazy thing about these liquidation stores. They all have their niche of what they do
right.
to like get the inventory out. And sometimes I love that. There's a few in Philly that I would love to go to, but seeing like their social media and how people line up, like I
Oh
kid you
yeah.
not, like line up for like Black Friday type of thing. I'm like,
Mhm.
God damn, what the hell is in there that people want? But then there are some that they give away stuff too. There's one in Philly that they typically give away a TV or like a PS5 or something. You're just like, what the hell?
Jeez.
Um, it's wild. Um, where Disavowed is, he has one that I have yet to visit. His is it the price decreases incrementally every day,
Yeah, that's
which
how it is
I think
here.
it starts at like 15 on Monday, and then by Saturday it's $2. Everything is $2, which is crazy. But it's bin diving. You Who knows
Right.
what crap is left over in there.
Yep. Yeah, that's how it is here. So Friday, because so we have two locations. We have one that's like 25 minutes away. That was the first one, so I would go there. And then they opened one in my hometown. So the one that's 20 minutes away is on Thursday. The one I have in town is Friday. So Friday it's 12. It goes 12, 8, 6, I think 6, 4, and then it's two for $1 or something on the last day. But usually by that time they don't really have anything. I think it was in January they had a load of Funko Pops and they couldn't even get rid of them.
Yeah.
They were like literally like, "We'll give it to you for 5 cents." I'm like, "Nah, I'm cool. I don't want it." I'm just like, I'm like, yeah. They're like, "We see you in here all the time buying toys." I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like,
See, they know you now.
"They do, yeah." And I always like. So the thing is, they like today they go on Facebook Live and they show off like their whole all the bins and the walls and stuff like that. But they go too fast. So like later tonight they'll post pictures and I'll scour through the pictures. But
Right.
every time I miss something until I go, and then I'm like, dude, how did I miss this in the picture? Like that
Yeah.
stuffed turtle set, didn't even see it in the picture. And I went back and looked. I'm like, damn it, how did I miss that? But I did. I mean, I got it, $12. So,
Yeah, my liquidators do the same thing. They'll post pictures of what they recently got in, but never of toys. Like if it's toys, it's all the like toddler toys,
mm,
the girl toys, things that they know that, a mom, because it's mostly moms that go into these stores to buy stuff. So they'll pick out the toys that they know that they're gonna buy for little kids. Um, so anything of adult collector, they just toss it to the side. They don't know what to do with it, which is why I try to go there as frequently as possible just to see what could have ended up there. And the most recent one was a friend of ours. He went to one of them, found like the whole GI Joe wave of the dial tone, Storm Shadow, the the bat, what else?
Oh,
The
the
Iron
Iron
Grenadier.
Grenadier.
Yep, he found the whole wave, two of them, two of each, and they were selling from $12 each. And I was like, God damn it! So
Dude,
he left. He left the other ones. He picked one of each for himself, and he let me know. And I was like, there's no way I can get there. It's not possible. And I realized maybe I could get there first thing in the morning when they open. And I did. It's all gone. Someone got it the night before. So
yeah, that's the reason why I go, because if I don't get it, someone else didn't get it. Because well, how long? Maybe it was like a month or two ago. I noticed in one of the pictures that they had literally a ton of NECA stuff, and I was like, "Oh, dude, I got to go." And most of it was gargoyles, but still, I went, and I don't even know. I was probably like 15th in line, and there was two people behind me, and he was looking up on eBay, and I was like, "Oh, he's after all this NECA stuff." So I literally rushed in there and grabbed everything, one of everything, and I wasn't gonna buy it all. I just bought a few. I just had them, and just carrying them around. And he kept watching me. He was like watching me all the time.
see, that's toy hunting. That's what we got
Yeah,
to do sometimes. We just be like, okay,
yeah,
we find a location and we try to like keep coming back to it, and
yep,
hopefully something good comes out of it every time we go. Uh, I mean, Target and Walmart have not been my friend
yeah.
recently because they're
Not
just
either.
they're Target, especially because nothing is showing up, nothing. But Walmart though, which I should have my toy hunt video up soon, but Walmart, because they did their reset, they have been putting up all the new Black Series figures, all the new Transformers figures, which I got a little inkling where I said, "Oh, that transform! Look at that!" And I don't do Transformers, but my God, I was like, "Ooh, that's I might." Um, and I swear to God, Walmart's just teasing me with the tags of the Marvel Legends mini comics because there's
Oh
two
yeah, yeah,
tags, there's two peg hook tags hanging up there, and I swear to God, I've been to Walmart almost every other day so far, ever since the reset happened, just waiting. I'm like, please show up. Please have it out there when I'm there so I can cherry pick what I want. Now, I did get one of them because GameStop had ROM,
yeah,
and everyone giving me FOMO about it. I made a mistake by not pre-ordering it. It's sold out everywhere. I'm like, God damn it. Do I really want this figure? I'm just like, come on. And I found it. I was lucky enough to find one at a GameStop, and I picked it up because it looked awesome. Now, I haven't watched a review for anybody, but it looks awesome. So I picked it up, and now I don't have FOMO anymore.
yeah. I think that's it. So that figure, I know there was like a long battle for rights over that, and they could never make that figure. So obviously they got that figured out. That figure, I think, I know it because it did sell out. It's going to be one of those ones that's going to be super hard to find. You're probably lucky that you got it at GameStop when you did. It's going to be like the
Like the
PowerPoint
Crystar? Like
and
the
the Crystar.
Crystar?
Yeah, but
Oh my
both
God.
those are like literally the most impossible two Marvel Legends to find.
Yeah. There it
Yeah,
is. See
I
that?
think sexy.
This thing. Yeah, it is sexy. You know why? Because it's got Titania's legs. Look at that. Did you notice that?
Hey, got to reuse when you can.
I know. That's so funny. It looks good.
The question is, are
Whatever.
you going to open it?
Oh yeah, of course I'm gonna open it. Absolutely. I'm gonna ruin the card and everything because of my whole new kick on getting rid of my packaging. So it's just the comic thing is just like I want my build a figure. I
Right.
want to build a figure. But the
Yeah, I
retro
think
cards,
based
I
on
mean,
that,
that's what it is.
I think based on that, like what the X-Men way is literally the only Build-A-Figure so far, and doesn't sound like
This
they're
year,
going to
yeah.
be. Yeah, I don't sound like they're going to do any more.
And that's what I'm afraid of. And then the leak lists that that's been going around. So I'm enjoying some of it. There's some good ideas that have been thrown out there, and of course, any of the X-Men things, I am all for it. But hey, who knows what's going to happen with this line? And I will just enjoy it for what comes out, because what like I'd want to say like 70% of my collection is Marvel Legends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you and I are about the same, 70%. Well, I mean, I obviously do have DC Multiverse, but those are slowly getting sold off, and I'm only keeping. I think I've said this before. I literally just want the Silver Age,
Right.
DC comic stuff that I grew up with in the '80s. I want it to be like, to me, those remind me of superpowers. So that's literally the only reason why I want those ones. I'm
Sure.
almost there. I'm almost there.
In box or out of box?
I don't
See?
really know. I probably well, this thing behind me is dedicated to the Crow. The bottom
Of course.
half is box Marvel Legends that I have no room to put. But that might change. I don't know. I might end up taking them out. That just depends. I don't. But we'll see.
Yeah. No, I get it. When it comes to multiverse, God, I can count. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4. Yeah, 4 multiverse figures and 3 vehicles. Yeah, 3 vehicles.
Hey, smart man.
Yeah, I'm glad I got rid of what I did. I do have the Arkham Knight though. That's the number 4, and I bought it out of because it was cheap. Ross. When Ross has something cheap, you're just like, ooh, something that you wouldn't have bought at regular price, but then you have the ability to buy it at freaking $4.99 or whatever price it was, $5.99 price, and I'm like, it's still a cool looking figure, but it doesn't go with what multiverse theme I have, which is Batman the White Knight. So that's really the issue.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that you count on Ross every year is you're gonna get a shitload of DC Multiverse.
Yeah. Oh my God, Ross! I swear to God, when you posted that, and it was crazy because I already went to 2 Rosses, and I was like, there's a part of me that's like, you got to go to Ross. You haven't been to Ross in like 2 weeks. Just go check. Nothing of anything, like not even an inkling of an adult collectible. And you put out this post, and I'm like, geez. And it's great because it's a BAF I haven't finished. The Blackheart Wave, I have not finished that. So you showing me that Voodoo and you heard Moon Knight was found. Hell yes. Because Moon Knight has the head. I forgot what Voodoo had, probably an arm or something.
He has a leg.
He has a leg. So absolutely. I think those are the only 2 that I'm missing. Helverine, I could, but I actually like the CT Toys one because the CT Toys one reminds me of the Helverine cover that I actually have when I bought it, and it's a better representation of it. But for $5.99, you got to be kidding me! Hell, I might even if I find Kazar, I might buy Kazar just so I could have arms that I could probably customize with another figure.
Well, yeah, I know it's a lot of people are buying him if they find him to customize to use him for pieces. So it's a good figure for $6.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Jaeger is right. Jaeger 101, making us waste gas going to Ross. I went to 4 today. 4. God, that sucks. And I should have known better because I know when you and AZ post stuff, it's like give it a week or 2. That's when they'll show up. But you don't know. I should be better at knowing that. But God forbid if it was already there. I have to check.
I, I honestly like, uh, was it Monday? I think it might have been Monday. I seen someone post the Brother Voodoo. I'm like, what? And then I think someone posted it in a group. And then I seen someone post Kazar, and I was like, what the hell? And then I saw Wolfsbane get posted. I was like,
Yeah.
there's no way my Ross is gonna have these. I didn't go yesterday because the Ross in my so I literally work right down the street from Ross at my job. So I
Well,
just
lucky you.
leave. I mean,
It's
I
like
run the
lunch
business,
break.
so
It's
I can
lunch
literally
break.
leave when they open at 9. I went in there and I was filming today, and I was like, oh, they're probably not gonna have anything. And I get close to the toys, and I go on to the side, and I see the retro card of Magneto, and I was like, you've got to be shitting me.
Uh-huh.
Around the corner, and I was like, oh my god, it's a whole case. Turn around, I'm like looking around, I found Kazar, then I seen the three brother voodoos. I'm like, this is like the jackpot happened right now. And I was like, should I buy all this right now? Should I buy all this right now? And I was like, no, I'm just gonna buy one of each. So I left it all there, just bought one of each, and then I went to the Ross by my house before I came home, and I found two more brother voodoos and bought them. So you can't find them, I will have one for you regardless.
Only West Coast. That's really all I say. It's just the West Coast. That's that's the only
I
thing.
I don't know. That's true. I mean, hey, maybe you should come out more often.
I should. I should. And June might be that possibility.
Heck yeah.
It's definitely possible, especially in your area. Normally, I don't go up there, but there's a reason for it. So if my wife is, well, no, my wife is going. It's just me seeing if I am capable of it because it's like 2 weeks before the end of school. So of course,
Mm,
I'd have to figure out how the kids are going to get up and get to school and stuff like that. So
right,
um, it's an easy fix. That's what in-laws are for.
right.
um, but I don't know because my wife is it's all expenses paid anyway.
Wow.
So her company's taking care of the entire thing. So I'll have a place to stay, considering that there'll be a hotel, and they'll give her a rental car, but she'll be like, just take the rental, drop me off when I have to go somewhere, and you just have to pick me up. I'm like, okay, let's see what happens if that's even a possibility. It's just I have to pay for my own. I have to pay for my ticket, my flight.
Right.
Um, who knows? I have no idea. But I haven't been to the Sacramento area since I want to say like 2016, possibly. That's my
Oh wow.
guess. That's my guess. 2015, around that time. I went for a wedding, um, and so we were there. And then, of course, I visited my one family member that's up there. It's like my one uncle who decided to live further away than from the rest of the family. So he's technically all by himself with his family. Um, but he lives up by the San Jose area, around that area,
Okay.
or at least north of it, I should say. Um, yeah, yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Bay Area for one, but they do have some very good toy places to go check out, which I still have yet to go to any of them. I know San Jose and Stockton have a lot of good places. Union City has some places. It's just I'm not a fan of that whole area. And this is me talking about traffic and road construction nonstop in that area. And I just literally went to WonderCon, which is in LA, and
Yeah.
it's the same thing. But I felt like the traffic was easier to maneuver through than it is in the Bay Area. It's weird.
Oh, Anaheim. That area was very easy to navigate
Yeah.
for me, at least for me. If you're talking, if that's the same as Sacramento, is that what you're saying? It's similar?
I think so because a Sac I can like literally get in and out and go through traffic pretty easy. San Francisco area, it's Stockton, hell no.
I I I I was freaked out driving in Sacramento. All
Oh,
those
really?
hill roads, all every going uphill and down through like that whatever downtown area that is in Sacramento. You know why? Because at the time when I was there, I think we had a rental car. I'm not going to say it was a Prius, but it was something in similar
Hmm.
category. I kid you not. If I had every time I had to stop at a light where I'm on a incline,
Uh-huh.
I wasn't holding on to the brake. More so, I was stepping on the gas to keep myself elevated going forward, even though I'm not moving anywhere. I always felt like I was just going to slide backwards every time I drove around Sacramento, no matter where I stopped. I was like, shit. Because the moment, or if I did hold on to the brake, the moment I let go, I just felt like I just go backwards. Uh-uh. That's terrible. That's how I felt. I was like, this sucks. Um, and it was, and for God forbid, for any car that was behind me that was like bumper to bumper, I was like, I'm gonna hit this car just by letting go of the brake. That's what's gonna happen right now. Fortunately, nothing happened. I'm just saying that driving around that was pretty nuts. I think I was driving through around like the Chinatown area at the time, but still, I don't know how that is regulars around there were able to drive like that, especially with those inclines.
Yeah, no, nope. No, thank you. Yeah, I think it was last year my family and I went to San Francisco because we went and saw Blink. Well, I went and saw Blink 182, my daughter's first concert because one of her favorite bands was the co-headliner. And then we went to Lucasfilm. We went to see the original Amoeba Music and the Full House. And having to drive
Oh,
up those steep ass freaking roads to get
yeah.
anywhere, my wife was kind of like freaking out, and I was like, "It'll be fine, just gun it."
That's the point. You had to
Yeah,
gun it.
yeah. Just like I don't. This is why I don't like San Francisco. Nope, not for me. But you come to Sacramento, I'm 2 hours away. I would end up spending the night because there's just a lot of places. There's so many comic book shops that I have yet to go to.
Hmm.
There is the cave, which I've shown you, and in photos, and you're just like, that's a chaotic mess. You would probably
Yeah.
have an anxiety attack. Apparently, there's the two I've been to, there's more I had no idea about. So there's like five in total there. And I was like, I got to go visit the other three I've been to. That place is awesome if you like loose figures.
I do.
It's nuts. Yeah,
I do.
it's nuts.
Especially if they're cheap.
Yeah, and that's the thing is some are cheap and some aren't. I almost found the entire Marvel superheroes wave from 1991 loose there, and they're all $2.99.
Wow. Yeah.
And I didn't buy any of
Cool.
them. I'm an idiot, straight up idiot, dumb.
It happens. It happens.
Hmm, that is true. so, so on the other note, it's a little different when I do these podcasts now. I don't know if you've watched the other two, but we're going to dive into a little bit more of your history. So we're going to go into little art. We're going to go back to your childhood. And I'm going to
Sure.
ask you, what do you remember the first, I guess, comic character or superhero that you remember having a toy of?
A toy.
Yes.
Yeah. I can actually I should get it for you. Hold on.
Oh,
There was one was a GoBot. The
oh,
the
shoot.
the gray plane. What was his name?
I don't
Ace? No. Leader one. Leader one. I had leader one. The other one is over here.
This is how you know Art's the big dog. He still has it.
I still have it. Yep, I still
Dang.
have it. But it's missing stuff. This was I think it may have a date. I don't remember. But it's the original 1980s Kenner Luke Skywalker
Oh wow.
from Return of the Jedi. That's when, where the face paint always rubs off around the face.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty good. It does have a rub on the nose, but I still have this figure, which is wild. I had this
Dang,
one
that is
and
wild.
C3PO, the one that broke apart
Oh,
in
okay. Yeah,
pieces,
yeah.
where you could just like the legs will pop off and the arms will pop off. I had that too. I don't know what happened to that. And then the other one was our Superman, where
Oh
discolors,
yeah.
and I still had the
Dang.
cape to it
I
too.
was gonna
So
say that cape's hard to find.
yep, and he still does
Dang, dude.
the punching.
That
Yep,
is
he
so
has
awesome.
the blue eyes, everything. I mean, it's in okay condition, but and the cape still has the yellow S on there. So
That's crazy.
these were my favorites because they were kind of like my first, I guess. So
Mm-hmm.
I think this came with a lightsaber. I don't know
I
if it
want
came
to
with
say it
anything
did.
else. I'm not sure, but if it did, I can't recall. Uh Outside of these, there could have been like maybe some Robotech things that I wasn't even aware it was Robotech to begin with, because you
Mm-hmm.
could fit these pilots inside of this white canopy of a arm or a leg or something like that. And
Right.
then I did have the full set of Bionic 6.
Oh,
And
jeez.
you know what? The Bionic 6, it was funny because I remember going to a toy show and seeing like almost most of the figures still on card but in a protective case. And I saw that. I was like, "Oh my god." That just clicked in like a memory that I had forgotten because it was Bionic 6. And those were just die cast metal
Mm-hmm.
figures. I
Yeah.
swear to God. And they got scuffed up big time every time you played with them because the paint would just chip off on
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. But yeah, I had those were just some of the few. The fact that I still had these two, I mean, that's pretty nuts.
Yeah, that is pretty nuts.
I did have a Secret Wars figure, and it was Baron Zemo. And
Oh wow.
I didn't know Baron Zemo when I was a kid. It was just a guy in purple with a purple
Right.
mask and like white ruffles of stuff. And I'm like, I don't know who this guy is, but it comes with a cool lenticular shield thing. I, I didn't know what it was. I didn't even think it. I don't think I knew it even was a Marvel property because it was just this purple figure. I had
Mm-hmm.
no idea, none whatsoever. So
Dang, that's crazy. That I've never. I mean, I have seen those Superman from Superpowers complete, but like the cape is usually pretty worn out. The fact that your ass looks that good is pretty awesome.
yeah, it worked out.
I still have my original Joker, my original Penguin, my original Flash, and there's someone else. And I have the Melloway Clark Kent. That's what I still have.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And Penguin's missing his umbrella, and then the coat piece that's pegged in on the back of him. And then Joker is missing his mallet.
I remember that penguin. I
Mm,
I don't. I think I was missing the umbrella too.
yeah. That it's like the back piece, the I guess it's his coattails is what they call that, right? Yeah. I
Yeah, yeah.
always fell off. I felt like I found that thing a million times, and then when I had kids and let my son play with it, or all my old action figures, all that stuff kind of just disappeared. Probably got thrown away by my wife.
It
It
happens.
happens. Yeah,
Yep.
it does. So that is cool that you have that stuff from your childhood still. So tell me like about your childhood, like growing up and stuff. Like how was growing up for you?
From collecting or for
Just in
anything?
general. Yeah, just in general.
I mean, it was it's I guess like any other typical thing. I I was more of a video game nut with my Nintendo and then Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, things like that. And then, Game Boy came around. Never got a Game Gear, but I loved video games when I was a kid. They were always, I always played video games no matter what. And then even playing with my friends, going over to their houses, they would have games that I wouldn't have and vice versa. I mean, I would have the fighting games. I had Street Fighter. I had Street
Mhm.
Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2. Um Mortal Kombat became big. So I had majority of like all fighting game type stuff. Like that was during Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, of course, but Nintendo by
Yep.
itself, that was always a lot of fun because there were so many different games that we could play. There was an endless amount of titles that you could choose from. Micro Machines was one like a big one. It was funny,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Micro Machines, right?
Yeah.
Um, it's Micro Machines was me and my friend's favorite game because we could just constantly race each other over and over again in these crazy environments, just like you would as a kid, creating tracks around the house. Uh,
Right.
the When it came to like toys, it was majority of his Playmates Ninja Turtles, and then I got into GI Joe. Um, I was also a kid that enjoyed um, the box art. So when I bought new toys, hey, IE Toy Hunter, what's up? When I bought toys as a kid, and because they're all like blister card packaging, I would open it up very carefully. So I still had the tray attached to the card back. And when I was done playing with my toys, I would put all the accessories and all the figures back in the tray itself. And my dad, surprisingly, he found pegboard and pegs. He set up this thing on my wall as a kid in my bedroom. And when I was done playing with my toys, I would peg all of my figures like you would be flipping through a peg hook.
Dang.
Um, and that was with like all of my Ninja Turtles. All my Ninja Turtles were on the wall. I think I could fit like 4 figures per peg, and every every one of those I opened carefully, which is nuts, right? I opened carefully, and
Yeah.
I tried to be very pristine with it because I never used a knife. I tried to like peel off the glue as best as possible without ripping the artwork on the card. Insane,
Wow.
right? That's how I was. When it came to vehicles, though, I couldn't do anything about that. It was just I kept the box, but I would put the vehicle back in the box. The so so my room was clean and organized completely. I don't know what happened to me now because sometimes it's just crap all over the floor, and that's how I played with my stuff. GI Joe was almost the same thing, but they could never. I could never. They were too small into the blister because it was a
Right.
smaller plastic packaging. Um, I wish I still had all that stuff. Like Ninja
Tell
Turtles,
me
God,
about it.
when it was a great collection of Playmate stuff, and I boxed them all. And of course, as I got older, high school, then jumping into college, I didn't have that. I didn't collect anything when I was in high school. Um, and my first year of college, I met a guy who was crazy about his collection. He loved Ninja Turtle. He had a whole Ninja Turtle collection. I just gave all my stuff to him. Just gave it. I was like, here you go.
Oh
I don't want
man.
it. I was like, oh. I look back on it now. I'm like, fuck. Why did I do that? Uh, but whatever. It's gone.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Um, I never was into Star Wars toys though. When episode 1 came out,
Hmm.
it kind of just like put a radar around because there was like walls of figures at like Walmart.
Right.
Right? And you're like, geez, you can't escape that. And I looked, and a part of me was like, oh, you know what? Let me pick one up. And I picked up the Darth Maul figure
Oh,
because
of
you know it
course.
had
Yeah.
those like datacom things where
Yeah.
if you had the reader and all that stuff. Um, that was kind of like an entryway, but I never really got anything else outside of that because then anime was kind of introduced into my life through Cartoon Network and Toonami and stuff like that. So
Mm.
when that happened, I started. I never thought there would be toys for it until Suncoast Video. If you guys know
Oh.
Suncoast Video,
Oh yeah.
that was like my home, man. I loved Suncoast Video, and then parallel to Suncoast was Sam Goody and a little bit of FYE. But at the time, FYE was called, if you guys remember this, FYE was called The Wall. The Wall was just a music store that turned into FYE. And they had all that stuff. They had all kinds of collectibles. I mean, I was introduced to Kotobukiya before Kotobukiya was even popular because Suncoast Video sold a lot of Kotobukiya statues and Gashapon mystery box items way beyond
Oh.
its time. It was crazy. Um, and of course, all the figures. So many different figures, even though they were like statue figures, like McFarlane when he did his anime line.
Right.
There was a lot of similarity to it, but Bandai and not even Bandai, there was other, I forgot what the other companies are, but they made a lot of figures, and you would just have to, if you knew the titles, you knew those anime, then it was like you're the best place to get that type of product. It was awesome. And I think during that time, I was heavily into Gunpla, which I had no idea was called Gunpla. So I built a lot of Gundam model kits in
Mhm.
my college years because Gundam Wing was a big thing. It was so cool for me. And Toys R Us, I remember just buying so much of it at Toys R Us. And Toys R Us started carrying anime products too, especially when Dragon Ball was really getting some airtime, but no one
Mhm.
really cared about Dragon Ball. So
Yep.
I it's funny because I still have a Dragon Ball figure set from If Labs, which is also If Labs was also something toys. I forgot, but and I bought them all on clearance. that's,
Dang.
that's the funny thing about that. I remember I bought them all on clearance, and it still has those Toys R Us tags on it too. Um, that that was what was that. My God, I don't have those on display in here. I still have it boxed up because I never took it out of the packaging. I left it in the packaging because it was so good. Um,
Hey.
yeah, that's what I enjoyed. Anime is I enjoyed a lot, and I still enjoy it to this day. And the way things are made now is so crazy to represent, these shows that we enjoy. Um, but as a kid, when I was collecting, I was just very peculiar with what I got, and I think back then I was very mindful of how much I wanted to spend on a figure, even though figures were what $3.99 to
Yeah.
$5.99
Yeah.
back then. Even if I went to like a local KB toy store, uh,
Ah.
the I would wait for a sale. I would absolutely wait for a sale, and then if I find it, I'd be like, yes, because the Toy Biz X-Men figures,
Oh.
those popped up when I started watching X-Men animated series. I as a kid, I loved that show. of course, and I did have a significant collection of the Toy Biz 5-inch X-Men figures, and it's funny how I learned new characters from the figure first before I found them in the comics,
Right.
um,
Yeah. Yeah.
or from card collecting, Marvel card collecting. That was always
Yep.
another part of my childhood, going to like the local store or bookstore, because I had a what do we had in the mall? Walden Books.
I
Does
was
that
gonna
sound
say, yeah.
familiar?
Yeah.
Walden Books sold a lot of trading cards at the counter. And I still remember going to Walden Books at the mall and buying like the Fleer Ultra X-Men or the Marvel Universe cards there. It's crazy how things have changed, of course, where you can't even buy cards like that anymore at a local shop.
No.
No.
No. You can. I went to Walmart after work to go look for cards. I mean, I'm trying not to because I'm like they're just so
Yeah.
expensive.
Uh-huh.
But I want to try out a box of the DC annuals that the man collects got. I was like,
Did
why
he
not?
find
They're
some?
$20. Yeah, he found 4 boxes. They ordered 2 from Upper Deck, and then he found some at Walmart, his Walmart, or one
Really?
of the Walmarts. Yeah. And I was like, huh, I'm gonna go check. So they were more expensive from Upper Deck. They're 25. At Walmart, they're 20. So I was like,
Interesting.
oh, $20, I'll buy it. I've gone like not every day, but maybe like twice a week. Nothing. They have obviously Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, One
Yeah.
Piece, and it was surprising they had football and basketball today or baseball today. I was actually shocked they weren't sold out. But of course, Pokemon, can't
Yeah.
find those anywhere.
Can't find them. I knew about the DC annual, but I was like, I think I can easily pass on that one. But the One Piece cards, it's like my new thing. It's crazy. And
Oh no.
the new set just got released, which is set number 10, and they're in like a purple packaging.
Yep.
Um, that's probably what you've seen. And it's funny because I saw them at my local Target, and I think they filled up like 5 or 6 different peg hooks. And I saw it, I was like, I can't collect that set right now. It's fine. I mean, it's nice that I can buy individual packs because they're like $4.50 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I came back the next day because I was coming back home and it was on my way. I was like, oh, let me just see if something new may have popped in. And I glanced over to the card section. They're all gone. That must have been
Yeah.
like well over 100 packs on peg hooks, and they're all gone. I was like, what the hell? And I know how popular One Piece is, especially this One Piece
Mm-hmm.
trading card, regardless of them playing the trading cards. I mean, playing the game itself. But damn, I it caught me by surprise. I was like, geez. But luckily, I'm not that into it where I'm like, I have to buy it every time I see it. So,
Right. Yeah. That was like, oh, was it Monday? I don't remember now. It was Monday. It was the day after I came home from WonderCon. I went to Target on Monday because it's like my day off, and I was like, oh, I haven't gone to Target in like 2 weeks. Let me go see. Like the same thing. I glanced over to the cards. I was like, because I'm always expecting to see empty, and I just see a ton of cards. I'm like, oh shoot, I wonder if they're gonna have the individual packs of Spider-Man cards. Still none.
I
Sucks.
saw those
Walk
recently.
over walked over there, and they had that one piece, a ton, probably like 100 packs, if not maybe more. They had Pokemon, the new Pokemon that has dropped. I went to the toy aisle. I was back there for maybe 10, 15 minutes. I come back. Everything was gone but 4 packs of Pokemon cards.
Wow.
Couldn't believe it. And I was like, damn. But I did buy a pack of Pokemon cards just because I didn't want a scalper to get it.
I don't even know what the new Pokemon cards are out now. I mean, I just have like the original sets, so I don't even bother.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about Pokemon. I just saw this dude had a basket full, and there's a woman that walked up. and he was looking at an ETB, and she walked up, grabbed 2 packs, and I saw there was one on the left. I just literally reached over him and grabbed it, and was like, "Well, I guess I'm buying it now." I was like, "I know what this guy's trying to do." So it's like, yeah, that's one less pack that guy's gonna resell.
Yeah, that's
What am I gonna
crazy.
do with this pack? I don't know. I'll probably just get it to my son.
Understandable.
Crazy times, man. So what about so when did you get back into collecting? So you weren't collecting through high school or college. So when was that
Yeah.
point that you
Uh,
got back into it?
2017 when I started
Oh,
my YouTube channel. Yeah,
so
I
that's
definitely
where it
remember.
started,
I did. At that time, YouTube was really nothing in my life
right?
because it was just like a source of information. If I needed to check something out, I would just go on YouTube and
Mhm.
look at it. And of course, at that time, my kids were about 6 and 4.
Okay.
So I stumbled upon a couple YouTubers, toy hunters, and I'm just like, that's pretty crazy because they're sending and finding stuff that are pretty cool that I've never seen before. Like it's as if I've only had the notion of what action figures look like from when I was a kid, and I
Mhm.
didn't know there was this progression of and new innovation of of figures or things like that. Because for me, when I was buying anime stuff in college, most of them were statues. They weren't articulated stuff. I mean, look at McFarlane with all of his Spawn and other figure lines. They were really just statues. And as much as I
Pretty
bought
much.
a couple McFarlane stuff, that was my thought of what toys are. You know, I mean, hell, the Toy Biz X-Men figures, like 5 points of articulation. The Star Wars, 5 points of articulation. There was nothing. I didn't know anything beyond that. But when I started seeing these YouTubers and be like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. And Funko Pop was like really just getting started. You know, chases were such a big deal back then. Um, I I went to my local Target while I was at work on my lunch break, and I just walked over and I found Marvel Legends, and which way it was the Juggernaut wave, and I
Oh,
found Rogue.
jeez, yeah.
I was like, oh my God, X-Men. I saw Rogue and I was like, look at this figure. This looks beautiful. All the different articulation points, but still looks like a figure. Like there's not a lot of cuts to it where it doesn't destroy the sculpt in a way. Because that was my thing too. I love statues more because you're not ruining the sculpt. You know
Right.
what I
That
mean?
makes
And
sense.
if I like the pose or I liked the how it was animated as a statue, I was fine with that. But I was introduced that yeah, you could do that. You can make all these poses with, certain action figures that you get, but Marvel Legends, you pulled at a nostalgia piece of mine when it was X-Men. And
Hmm.
here's Rogue, and which I did have the Toy Biz, you know, animated series Rogue type of thing, the one with the the ugly ass face and the jacket, whatever. But I found Rogue, and I was like, this looks amazing. Is absolutely amazing. And I think I also found Colossus. And when I found
Dang.
Colossus, if you guys remember Colossus, he had two different head sculpts. He had one with a beard, and I
Oh,
love
yeah.
alternate looks. I love alternate looks on characters. And I saw that. I was like, that looks cool as hell. So I bought them. I spent $40. I think, yeah, it was $40. And I bought them. And at the time, of course, I had no idea what legends are. I was like, what the hell are these legs doing in here? I was like, I didn't know yet.
Oh,
I didn't even look at the packaging. I just looked at the figure, but I was like, why does this have a leg? Or why is that? And I, of course, I look on the back of it. It's like, you could build Juggernaut. I was like, what? I was like, this leg is huge compared to Rogue. I was like, oh my God. And it sold me. I was like, this is cool. This is really cool. Like, if I collect all these figures, I could build a Juggernaut. It was like 2 years later until I finally finished the figure, because I could never find Wolverine. So Juggernaut had no
Oh
head.
yeah.
My God, what I was like, this sucks. Where the hell's Wolverine? I can't find Wolverine. And I found him. I found him eventually at my local shop, because he had him. Someone probably sold or traded him in or something like that. But he was there unopened with Deadpool, because I never found Deadpool too.
Oh geez.
They were both there. So I grabbed them real quick. I didn't have to pay like an overinflated price, but I paid a reasonable price, like maybe $30 for both of them, or each of them. Yeah, that changed the whole thing, and which I started collecting, and I just stuck with Marvel Legends. Just stuck with it. Now remember, at this time, this is when the new Star Wars movie started coming out too, right? So Rey and Poe and all those new characters, the new red and black box of Black Series, which I had no
Yep.
idea what the hell Black Series were. I had no idea there was a yellow box before or a blue box before. All I knew is that, hey, there's Star Wars figures and they're bigger. They're 6-inch scale. I was like, and they're detailed. They look great. And I was like, this looks cool. And I didn't start, but a part of me was like, the reseller in me that people taught me how to resell was like, you need to buy Star Wars figures in the event that they increase in value down the line. And I watched the movie. I was like, oh, well, the first figure I bought from Star Wars was crap, I forgot the bad guy. What the hell?
Oh.
Kylo. I bought Kylo Ren because that was the first figure I saw. And I was like, oh, he's the villain. And I didn't do much with it. I just left it alone. I just held on to it in a way. And then I started to get into Star Wars a lot more, and started, collecting Star Wars because I enjoyed it. And that's where that led to. So then Star Wars Black Series, now Marvel Legends at the same time. And it just snowballed into me going back into YouTube, watching these same people do what I just did. And I decided to do it for myself with my kids.
Yeah,
And my
that's
kids were
awesome.
part of it. But my channel had changed. So for about, let's say, 6 months to a year, it was just, I think my channel was called Family Toy Hunt. Because I had my kids with me, and they would look at their stuff that they liked. Like my son would look at Roblox stuff. My daughter would look at Shopkins. And I would record that, they would be hunting their stuff. I would hunt my stuff, and I would have a channel. I think I only had like 100 subscribers or something like that. But unfortunately, I had negative comments that kind of ruined the experience.
Right.
And I
makes
realized that viewers that enjoy what I collect don't care about what my kids collect. And so me thinking like combining them together is not a good thing. I need to separate that. So I rebranded, basically. I rebranded myself and just left my kids out of it, because the whole COPPA thing was coming into light as well. And I'm sure you remember the whole COPPA thing.
Yes.
So I was like, what, just cut them out. Cut them out. Don't worry about it anymore. Focus on me, on what I do with my collection, and pay attention to that. And that's what I did. And, as you know, it snowballed from there. I never had stuff like this, like that. It's ridiculous.
And now look at you. You're close to 9,000. I don't remember
I
now.
wish, god damn it.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I'm close to 7,200.
Okay.
My goal is 8,000 by the end of the year because that's realistic.
Yeah, that
But
makes sense.
I'm hoping 8,000 by summer. But who knows? We'll see what happens.
Dang, that's crazy. That's like, well, Chris, we had this yesterday, and was
Yeah.
telling him like in 2 years that he's at almost 9,000. I'm like, that's nuts.
Yeah, Chris is crazy. What the hell?
That's
You know what it
yeah,
is? It's that sexy voice, Chris. God
that's what
damn
I
it.
said. Yeah, I said that every time. It's true. Sexy voice.
Yep.
Told you the man.
Yep.
Hmm. So wow. So 2016. So my son was born in 2008. Geez, I wasn't until probably like 2010. I'm trying to remember now. I want to say, when did Circuit City close? 2009.
Oh,
I think it was 2009.
was it 2009? Oh
I
yeah,
want to
yeah.
say it
You're right.
was. Yeah,
It
because I
was
lived.
like the beginning of mm, February or March or something like that. Because I
Yeah,
quit
March.
2008. I quit 2008 Black Friday. That was my.
Oh my
Is
god!
that? Oh no. The Wednesday before Thanksgiving. I did not work the Black Friday because
Damn.
my manager, we got my friend manager. He quit like a month before I quit, and this new guy who has no experience whatsoever, and you know how this occurred.
Yep.
He just showed up saying, I'm the new store manager. And he did not give a shit. That's the thing.
Yep.
And then when I was trying to prep, because I'm second in command, and when I was trying to prep how Black Friday operates
Hmm.
with temp hires and teaching them all the things they need to know and how to handle how Black Friday is going to work, this manager during our Black Friday meeting, the whole kickoff meeting, so you
Hmm.
have the entire store team come in, you're going to show off things. All he did was basically, so you're just going to line up here, yada, yada. Like his favorite words were yada, yada, yada. I was like, that doesn't tell them shit. You need to teach how things are going to go, stanchion lines, how we're going to hand out these vouchers, things. Oh my God. He pissed me off completely. And I had no problem ditching him on the
I
Wednesday
don't blame
before
you.
Thursday. And he was caught drinking every time in his office. And I
Oh
was
my
like,
god.
it's unbelievable. Sorry, that's a tangent over there.
No, no, that's great. That's yeah, my experience at Circuit City, because I worked there from 2002 to 2009. So when they went out of business, I got promoted. So I was PFT. I think that's what it was called, lead or something like that. I think that's what it was called. Because we did
PFT, yeah.
project transform. Yeah, we did
Uh-huh.
project transformation, and that's when I was getting shipped off or whatever to like Fairfield, Vacaville, the Bay Area, to basically, because like in the West Coast, the northern West Coast, I was the guy because my team kicked ass and like we need to send you here, 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 here. Need you to go
Mhm.
teach these PFT supervisors like their job. And some of these people had been with Circuit City for like 30 years. They were just kind of like at that point, like kind of over it. They didn't care. But then they'd send me, and then they're like, okay, so now you're going to stay down here for weeks. Okay. And I was like, why? Because we want you to basically fire these PFT leads. And I'm like, wait, what? I was like, this is a little tricky because I'm not like their boss. So that makes no
Yeah,
sense.
right.
But I basically gave them performance reviews, and I was like, you have a week to fix all this up. If you don't, then the store manager and I sat down with them and we basically like fired them all. And then I had to go and interview a bunch of people to take over that position. And that's how I got moved up into an operations manager. They're just like, okay,
Oh,
you're ready, right? And I was like, wait, what? I'm like, I'm not ready. I told them, I'm like, give me some more time. My district manager one day showed up out of the blue and I had no idea why he was there. Now my team and I were just doing our thing, unloading truck, putting stuff away. And then he calls me to the back with my store manager. They're like talking about promotion, and I was just like, I don't know. And he's like, well, you've been promoted. We already got you assigned to a store. And I was like, what the hell? Like I didn't even have any say. And of course, you remember this, you can't get promoted within your own store. You had to
yep.
get moved. So they
Mhm.
moved me to the worst store in Sacramento, the worst one. And I was like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. And yeah, and that's kind of where it went from there. It was around September of that same year in 2008 was the first announcement of the first rounds of stores closing. And I walked in probably, was it October? Our new DM kind of sounds like your store manager. Didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
He was an asshole. I remember him, and we follow each other on LinkedIn, which is weird. Um, he's there with another store manager, and I walk in and I listen to this conference call. Like I went in there to grab something, and I hear like over, yeah, the whole business going under. We're closing all stores by, and I was just
Yep.
like, you gotta be freaking kidding me, dude! I just moved here.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, and I was like, holy shit! How am I gonna tell my wife this? So I had to break it to her, and she was just like, we just moved here. We have to move back, and I just like, we can stay here, but I don't know anybody here.
Right.
So yeah, by I think it was December. I think December we started looking for places back where I'm living now in Reading. And then by January we found a place. I moved my wife and my son and my sister-in-law who we adopted at the time. So we moved them all up. I stayed down there from January until the last day that we stayed open. And I literally was couch surfing friends' houses, sleeping at their houses. And it was very rough
Wow.
for 2 months. And then after that, I was driving. I'm trying to think. I got moved to Elk Grove, which is from Reading, like 3 hours, I think, 3 hours. So I was driving from midnight to Reading every day until the last day we stayed open, back and forth. So I'd get home at like 3:30 in the morning, turn back around and leave at like 5 in the morning to be there at like 7 or something like that for
Wow.
6 weeks. Talk about crazy. That was
Yeah.
the worst thing I ever did. I should just stay down there. Yeah, should have stayed down there. But I think it was around that time. That's when I was starting to buy the Marvel Universe, the 3 3/4 inch for my son. And that's about the time in 2010 when I got back into collecting. I'd take him
Okay.
to Toys R Us. Yeah, we'd go back to Toys R Us because they had them, a ton of them there. And I would start seeing things. I'm like, dude, this is so freaking cool. This is not like what I remember growing up. Everything was 3 3/4 inch. There was nothing, or
Yeah.
five. Nothing was bigger.
I'm
So
glad
I
I
would
never
buy.
seen those.
Yeah. Yeah. So I started buying all those, and it kind of just went from there. And I think that would have been a Ross. I think I found a clearance Captain America from Civil War, or it might have been Iron
Yes.
Man.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
You're right. Because that's when I started with Juggernaut Wave, I went to Ross. Um, probably for my wife. And I so happened to just go in there and I found Red Guardian from the
Oh.
Ant-Man, the Giant Man wave.
Yep.
And I was like, oh my God, there's a Marvel Legend here. What is this? This is cool. And because I'm now familiar with Build a Figure, I was like, oh, you could build Giant Man. That's pretty cool. And I was like, Red Guardian, I have no idea who this is, but I could collect them all and build something. And then, of course, I found Cap Wolf because he's in that wave. I found the whole wave at Ross at one point. It took
No.
several trips, but I found the whole wave at Ross. Black Panther was part of that wave. So
Mhm.
everything Civil War related was, I'm pretty sure, was a. Who else was? Oh, Nick Fury. I found Nick
Yep.
Fury at Ross. That Army Builder, which I had no idea what an Army Builder was at the time, but still, I was like, "Oh, cool! I found Nick Fury." Oh no, I didn't find Nick Fury there. Look and see. I know. I still remember. I found Nick Fury at Barnes and Noble on clearance for like
Oh wow.
$4. Yeah, that's where I found Nick Fury. I found the other ones all at Ross, and I loved it. I loved it. Then I discovered Walmart was carrying Marvel Legends. I was like, oh, look at this. There was a wave I could never finish. I think it was the Hobgoblin wave because there was these female Spider Women that I had no idea who they were, like
Yeah, yeah.
Spider Girl, and one that I knew I missed out on and I could never find her again, which was I know this is not her name on the box, but it was the Spider Bitch because that was what she was called during the Old Man Logan run. She was a black female Spider Woman, but they in the comic they called her Spider Bitch. She had brown hair that came out of the mask.
Okay. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I do remember that one. Yeah, I don't remember her
Yeah,
name though. And
I
on the
forgot her
box,
name.
yeah, on the
Yeah, on
box
the
it was
box is
different.
completely right. Yeah, the box is completely different. I just don't remember. But they used like the same packaging for two different figures. If you remember when they
Right.
used
Yeah,
to
yeah,
do that
yeah.
stuff, which I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Even like the Dormammu wave. The Dormammu wave also I found at Walmart, and these were all like clearance figures too. And I think I remember finishing all of Dormammu on clearance at Walmart. And then it just kept snowballing for me as a toy hunter. I was like, "Oh, this is cool. This is awesome." Even when one of my biggest like viral in our toy community viral at the time in 2017 was when the Spider-Man Homecoming wave came out, the Vulture wave,
Ooh,
the
yeah.
wings, just the wings, right?
Right, right, right. Yeah.
My Walmart had an old SKU attached to that wave, so all the figures were $7, and I
Oh my
knew
God.
that was wrong because these figures should be $19.99. I remember posting that video clip on like Facebook groups and posting it on and then doing it on my YouTube channel. And it was like, oh my God, $7 Spider-Man figures and they're brand new. I wish I still
Dang.
had that content because that was part of during the COPPA law era. And I had deleted a lot of that stuff because I had no idea what was going to happen. So a lot of my
Oh,
content, I just deleted myself because what would happen if they decide to be like, oh no, you're going to get fined for this much money amount of money because God knows what.
right. Yeah, I remember. Dang, man, that's the one wave, that homecoming wave, that oh my God, I don't have any of them but Vulture because he was the only one I thought I could find on clearance. I got him. Actually, no, take that back. I got him at Kmart because our Kmart going out of business. They have the entire Spider-Man Homecoming wave there, and I was like, oh God, I want to get these so bad. But you know, when they do closing stores, everything's more expensive until it's
Yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah. Of course.
Just like we did at Circuit City. So I was like, dang, these are $30. I'm like, I'm gonna wait. I'd go every week until I get to like, I think it got to
Uh-huh.
50, 30% whatever. And I was like, oh, these are still expensive. That's like $20 now. That's normal price. I was like, oh, I'll wait. I finally go in and they're like, everything's like 50% off. All of them are gone except for one
Yeah.
Vulture. And I was like, well, I guess I'm buying the Vulture. That's the only one I still have from that wave. I don't have any of the other
Ah,
ones. That's like
really?
one of the yeah, it's one of the waves I do want because just like you, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. So it's like I want that first Tom Holland, even though there's no head, his head sculpt, but I want those two spider suits. Still
Oh,
haven't found,
wow.
and they're still kind of expensive. It's really strange.
Yeah. I don't have that wave anymore. That's the funny thing. I sold the wave off a long time ago. Um, And yeah, that wave like put me on the map of like finding clearance figures, even though it wasn't clearance. It was an
Yeah.
error on their part. And I've had 3 instances at Walmart where that happened. And I don't know if you can remember that. Um, that was the first one where it was $7. The second one, which was wild, and you might have experienced this, but you may have remembered during this period of time with toy hunting, where uh new Star Wars Black Series wave ended up being 3 cents. You know, the 3 cents
Oh
mark
yeah,
of
I do remember that.
clearance,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
I found it, bought them all for 3 cents. All everything for
Wild.
that was during the time of the Solo movie. So a lot of
Okay.
the Solo movie figures, for some reason, ended up under the same SKU category as stuff that they just like liquidated out of their store, and they had it when you rang it up at the register. It was 3 cents each. So
Yep.
it was like, I don't even know their names, but I'm just saying, if you remember the Solo movie, I got all
Oh
those
yeah.
figures for 3 cents. And then after that was the M'Baku Marvel Legends Build a Figure wave. Found
Oh,
all that entire wave for $5 each. And that
jeez.
was the same error. That was the same error that occurred. And I was like, this is awesome. I was just scanning. I was just recording it, scanning everything on the little price scanner. $5. $5. I was like, this is nuts. It's all brand new. It's crazy.
Give me that basket. Give me the basket.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man, that's nuts. I think the only now I know no one really likes this movie, but the Eternals, like I know I've talked about that in the past a lot. I
I have
still
no
like that
problem with it.
movie. I still like that
I'm
movie.
okay with it.
I remember the pictures leaked out for that the figures, and everyone's just like, "Who the hell are the Eternals?" I'm like, "How do you not know like Jack Kirby?" And I was like, "All right, whatever." I was like, "I think this would be kind of cool." And I remember at the time, this is before Walmart and Target made these. They were exclusive there. So the Angelina Jolie figure, Athena,
Uh-huh.
was supposed to be a Walgreens exclusive at that time.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, things change, and then ended up being a Target exclusive, and
Yep.
then the Selma Hayek character, she ended up being a Walmart exclusive.
Uh-huh.
And I remember going to our Walmart here through the garden department. And they had like a ton of stuff on clearance, toys and stuff. And I just see a whole, I don't know, probably like 24 feet gondola, just all it is of Eternals. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, how are these even out yet? This movie's not even out yet.
Right.
And they, because the movie was supposed to come out that year and then they got moved. So I think maybe Walmart had them for in the back and they just were putting them out. And then they're like, okay, you got to pull them or you clearance them. So the tag said 7. I was like, I'll buy 1 or 2, just like you did. Went to the scanner and it showed $3. I'm like, no way.
Yep.
I'm all, it can't be just this one. Went back, grabbed them all, put them in the cart. My wife's like, what are you doing? She was like, you don't need all that. I was like, I think these are all $3. Scan $3. Scan $3. I'm like, I'm buying all this. I'm literally getting this whole wave for $3 a piece.
Yep.
Bought them all. I think the only one I paid full price for was a Athena, the Angelina Jolie from Target. I paid
Yeah, because it's from
$20. I didn't
Target.
even care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I was just like, I can't freaking believe this. They ended up pulling them all. Literally, like, I don't know, that same week they pulled them all. I was like, oh, you have these Eternal? Like, oh, we had to pull them. Hasbro told us to send them all back. And I was like, oh, shit. I was like, well, that's actually, you guys got ripped off. And then the movie comes out. They literally pushed them all back out again for full price for 1997, whatever.
Yep, because
And
it's
I was
been
like,
corrected. Yeah.
yeah. I was like, dang, I got those for $3. And now look, you guys have ollies. I don't. And they're just sitting at you guys' ollies.
Yeah. I mean, I have mine. I bought my Eternals when GameStop had their like buy one get two free type of
Oh, yeah.
sale, and they were already clearance at like $5 each or $6 each. So I was able to get most of my Eternals for like If you did the
Gee.
math, it was probably like $3 to $4 too. So
Yeah.
I had no issue with the Eternal figures. I mean, they're all new sculpts. They all had nice head
Yep.
sculpts that I could reuse somewhere else. It's just it is what it is. I get the movie didn't do so well from that aspect, but me as a viewer and as a fan of the MCU, I still enjoyed it for what it was. Will it go anywhere else? Will they utilize that in any way as like a Easter egg of from another movie? Maybe they might mention the Eternals because they have to. I didn't watch Captain America, by the way, so
Okay.
I understand that they're going to have where adamantium came from. I'm assuming. So that might be the closest thing we get to an Eternals connection to for that. But it's whatever. I mean, I still enjoyed it. I mean, these are figures too. If you can get them for $3 to $5 each and utilize it in your collection, that's great. That's really awesome. And it's harder for us, like me and you, and many of us like us, that when it's such a cheap price, it's you just don't want to leave it behind. It sucks to
Mhm.
think that way, but it's that impulse buy of like, I can buy it now for $3. And I know if I see it somewhere else, it's gonna be 20. And I was like, I might as well just buy it now because I'm gonna have this weird regret that I won't see it the next time I come here.
Yep.
And I'm always seeing it at the place where it's $20. And I'm like,
Yeah.
damn it, I should just be it's a weird
So
mentality
it's a yeah,
as
it
me
is.
being as a collector and a toy hunter, but it's like I trust me, this entire month I've been passing out so much stuff because I was saving for this freaking dragon. And I'm happy
Mhm.
that I'm getting this dragon, but I'm just saying, damn it. My God.
Yeah, that's like was it last month? It might have been last month. I can't remember now. When Ross started getting the superpowers Blue Beetle the bug for $3.99. Did you not know
Oh, I
that they
didn't
were
even
getting
see
that?
that. I
Oh
remember
yeah,
you guys showing
yeah,
pictures of that. I there are many times where you guys found stuff and I have yet to find it at all.
yeah. I think that's. I know there's stuff like I know when you find it and Jimmy finds stuff in Florida, I never
Uh-huh.
see here. I'm just like, how the hell is this like not? How am I not finding this? This is ridiculous. Yeah,
Yeah,
it goes both ways. I mean, I'm sure distribution for Ross is different for both sides of the country. So yeah,
it
it
is. It's
sucks.
crazy because I'm also still trying to help out people that are looking for the X-Men 3-pack at Ollie's. And this is the second distribution for it now, or second time of distribution, and I never even found it the first time around. So I me trying to find it now is like, where the freak is it? But Jimmy did find it, on
Yeah.
in Florida. So it's kind of like, okay, well, it's somewhere here on the East Coast, but not up here. And like, even remember the Strife 5-pack at Rust. Never seen it.
Oh yeah.
There are just things that I hope I get to see. When Nope, never seen it. The the
Yeah.
the GI Joe Cobra Trooper 3-pack. I still never saw that.
Oh yeah. I never. Wait. No, I did see that. Never mind. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, I did give you one of those. I was like, wait, I
Yep.
got that one. Yeah. Yeah. That was probably my most viral because I put it on TikTok, which might have been a bad idea. And I've seen so much hate in my life was posting that. I was like, because I said, oh, I'm going to buy them all. Oh, you're a scalper, blah, blah, blah. And I was just
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
no, I
yeah.
literally just was giving these to friends. Like, I was like, I'm tired of explaining myself. I don't even care at this point anymore. But the
Yeah.
one I never saw, the G.I. Joe stuff, was thing was the Valkyries, maybe. I don't. It was just last year. There was a
What?
random three
Really?
pack that showed up. I don't. It might have not been that one. Oh no, 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 my bad. It was the Ninja 2-pack, the two
Oh,
ninjas.
never saw that either.
Yeah, never saw them, and
Never saw
I
it.
kept seeing Brick University, and I'm trying to think who the other guy is that
In
lives in the
Pursuit?
Bay Area. No, because he
Oh,
lives in
Bay Area.
Arizona with
Oh,
Daisy.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Bay Area. So I saw the Bay Area guys finding that. I saw a Sacramento guy find it, and I was like, "Oh, cool!" So if it's getting that close, it's going to hit up here. So I never found it here. I would go a half an hour to the Ross that I don't go to very often, but they seem to have a lot of good stuff. I'd go there. I was going there more often, wasting gas, never finding anything, and
Yeah.
I was just like, this sucks. Never saw them. I was just like, God dang it. But it
Yeah.
is what it is. Whatever. I just told myself, okay, that means I don't need it. If I can't find it, I don't need it. You're all, yes, you need it because I need it.
Yeah.
It's so funny. And it's funny that you brought up the wall because I'm trying to think. Like over here, I think it's just all the same company. Suncoast was the same company. Ours was called Camelot Music, and then it
Yeah,
turned into, and then
Suncoast, Sam Goody. The wall was separate from them, but Suncoast, Sam Goody,
okay.
and there was another one. Rainbow Record, no, maybe Rainbow. They were all in one company.
Were they
What
okay?
company? I don't know. Yeah.
Because I know we had Camelot, and then it turned into FYE, and then no one went in there because it was just too expensive, and then they went out of business. But I
Yeah.
do remember the wall because they have that in SAC, and I literally just ordered this from Akari last week, I think. It's not the greatest movie, but I used to have the soundtrack and I couldn't find it, so I got it for like $6, and then it says right there, the wall right on
Yep.
there.
The lifetime guarantee.
Yeah. Yep.
If you put that sticker on your case,
Mm-hmm.
you have a lifetime guarantee of any scratches or defects that occur onto your you could get a brand new one.
Yeah.
I used to, whenever I
Dang.
bought from the wall, I used to just collect those stickers. Like I wouldn't put it on the product, so that any CD I bought anywhere, like if I went to a used CD store and it was all scratched up, I just take one of the stickers that I had and just put it on that and go to the wall and just replace it.
Oh my gosh.
It's very easy because you did not need a receipt. That sticker was all you needed to show that you bought it there.
Dang. Yeah. Probably why they went out of business. Oh man. It's funny because you mentioned that Nick Fury. I just got that Nick Fury.
Did you really?
Yeah, I got it at WonderCon.
Oh yeah. I remember you said.
Yeah, my good buddy Mike from Mike's Toys and Stuff. I needed this because I could never get this. I missed out on Walmart.
Oh really?
So he had
Okay.
it. Yeah, he had it for 55, and I was just like, I'll bite the bullet and just buy it. And then he ended up giving me that for free, and I was like, what the hell, Mike? So now I have it, and I'm still missing Nuke. I realized I went through all my figures. I'm like, I thought I had Nuke. Well, now I'm missing him. So I got to find him now. Yeah,
Nuke. I remember. Yeah, Nuke. That was a Ross find for me. I had no idea who Nuke was. No idea.
I don't even know who he is. Yeah,
no. But I was like, oh, I got another one.
Jeez. Oh man. Well, I don't want to keep you too long, so I want to have you do your thing, plug your stuff, and we'll call it a night. And before you do that, thank you for doing this. It was really, really fun sitting here chatting about your childhood and like your toy collecting through the years. Really, really fun. But yeah, go ahead and plug your shit.
Absolutely, man. I really appreciate you for the invite. Thank you. I always love, talking everything about toys. So I appreciate your friendship. This was a great night. If you haven't seen me around before, I think on my name tag here, I am on Instagram at @RG_collection. And of course I have a YouTube channel. As you can see, you can just look me up. You can just type in ArtG. And I should be the first one that pops up. At least I hope so. But it is under RG Collection, where you can find my videos of toy hunting, some reviews of some toys, toy show and convention walkthroughs. I'm trying to do some other stuff that I hope will be a little bit beneficial in regards to some toy hunting. So you can keep an eye out for those videos. I do have a weekly live stream on Monday nights at 9 p.m., which does interfere with Raw on
Mm-hmm.
Netflix. But luckily, I can just watch it the next day, even though they edit a lot of things for after the live show. But yeah, regardless, you can follow
Right.
me both on YouTube and IG. But YouTube, if you could subscribe, that would be great because I would love to keep moving that number higher and higher, which it just shows to me that that people, I guess, do enjoy what I'm doing, and I love continuing it, and I have a lot of fun with my toy hunts. That's really the main point of me doing that. It's just for fun. Oh, and if you do come by, there is a giveaway going on because I did a review on a new Savage Crucible figure, which is called the Shield of Dezera, which is this guy right here. Just a beautiful paint
It's
job and
pretty
sculpt
cool.
on this character. Amazing figure. So I'm giving away one right here, unopened, of course.
Oh,
And this was actually sent by Harbinger Studios. They sent it to me. So I'm just giving it back to someone who could be a lucky giveaway prize winner for this. So if you check out the review video of this figure, that is where you can enter it in. I think we still have about 1 or 2 weeks left to enter into that. So you can check that out as well. And that's still cool. Giveaways are awesome.
oh yeah.
It's
Oh
an
yeah.
opportunity to win something. Why not? Uh, but yeah, that's really it. That's all I got going on.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Go do him a favor. If you haven't subscribed to Art, please do that. Let's get him to that next tier, 8,000. Is that correct? 8,000?
Yes, 8,000.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
nice round number, right?
Yeah. I agree. So let's get him to 8,000 by June. Let's try to get it before the end of the year. Let's get it by June. Um, honestly, I don't even know what my subscriber count is. I don't really pay attention to it anymore.
You're at like
Uh,
2,100 something, if I'm not mistaken.
oh, you know mine better than me. That's good. That's
I think so. I'm pretty sure it is.
all I know is I have one short. I think it's a short, right? Short or in a reel on Instagram. Actually, I think let's take that back. I have a reel on Instagram that's almost at 1 million. It is on YouTube Shorts. I want to say it's almost at 500,000. The same thing. All it
Wow.
is a Minecraft popcorn bucket video I did, and it blew up. Who would have ever known? And now I regret not buying that popcorn bucket after seeing it sold for almost $300. So what?
God, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. But again, thank you guys for being here tonight. Thank you, Art. I appreciate you, my friend. And tomorrow we have Mike, AZ Toy Hunters Guild, here tomorrow night. And then Friday, I'm taking the week off from podcasting because I've been doing all week. Then I have no show on Saturday. And then back again Monday for another full week of people. So look out for those. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Go subscribe to him right now if you haven't right now. So again, thanks guys. Peace.